What if I told you that working harder is actually the reason you're not rich yet? It sounds crazy, right? We've been told since kindergarten that the only way to succeed is to grind until you burn out. But here's the cold, hard truth. The hardest workers are often the ones with the emptiest bank accounts. Most people are stuck in a cycle of feast or famine, checking their portfolios every 5 minutes and letting money stress ruin their relationships. But what if building real wealth didn't require destroying your mental health? I'm Dollar Bill, and I'm here to show you a better way. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to build a money machine that runs on autopilot while you're out enjoying your life. I've spent a lot of time studying why some people seem to get wealthy effortlessly while others struggle for every cent. It's not about luck, and it's definitely not about working 80-hour weeks. It's about a system. But before we get into the how, we have to talk about the why. When you think of a wealthy person, do you see a stressed out CEO who hasn't slept in 3 days? Or do you see someone who inherited a mountain of gold? While those people exist, they aren't the ones who have actually won the game. The real winners are the ones who have automated their wealth. They figured out how to make money happen in the background. It's not about the fastest path to $1 million. It's about the most sustainable one. But here's where it gets interesting. Most of what you've been told about saving money is actually holding you back. Most financial gurus tell you to live in a state of constant deprivation. Don't buy that latte. Don't go to dinner. Hide your money under a mattress. That's what I call a scarcity mindset. It makes you feel like money is a rare, disappearing resource. And guess what? When you feel deprived, you eventually snap and spend all your savings on something you don't need. The wealthy don't ask, how can I save $1? They ask, how can I earn another one? They focus on building assets that generate income rather than just cutting expenses. This shift changes everything. You stop playing defense and start playing offense. But you can't win the game if you don't know where the goalposts are. The difference between someone who builds wealth and someone who stays broke is clarity. You need a target. What does financial independence look like for you? Is it retiring at 50? Is it owning a rental property? Whatever it is, you need to work backward from that number. Once the goal is concrete, it's not scary anymore. It's just a math problem. Now, I know what you're thinking. Dollar Bill, I've tried budgeting and it's a nightmare. That's because most people see a budget as a prison. But a budget is actually a map. It's telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. When you know exactly what you're spending on rent and fun, the anxiety vanishes. You don't have to wonder if you can afford that new pair of shoes. The budget already told you. But here is the shocking fact. Most people fail at budgeting within 2 months because they rely on willpower. And willpower is a finite resource. You're using it all up at work and at the gym. You don't have any left for your bank account. This is the game-changing secret. You don't need more willpower. You need automation. Imagine if the second your paycheck hit your account, money moved to your savings and investments before you even saw it. You can't spend what you don't see. This removes the decision fatigue and the emotional struggle. You aren't choosing to save. The system is doing it for you. This one trick is how the quietest millionaires are made. They aren't smarter than you. They just have better settings on their banking apps. Stay with me, because the last point I'm going to make about taxes is the one that changed how I think about money forever. But first, let's talk about the Oh No Fund. Most people call it an emergency fund, but I like to think of it as a freedom from panic fund. Before you start buying stocks or crypto, you need a cushion. Why? Because life happens. Your car will break down. Your roof will leak. If you don't have cash ready, you'll be forced to sell your investments at the worst time or go into high-interest debt. Did you know that having just $2,000 in savings makes you 21% more likely to feel financially well than someone with zero? It's the single biggest boost to your happiness you can buy. Start with $1,000, then move to 3 months of expenses. Once you have that buffer, you can finally sleep through the night. You stop making panic-driven decisions and start making power moves. Now, let's talk about the real magic, compound interest. It's like a snowball rolling down a mountain. At first, it's tiny. But as it rolls, it picks up more snow, which picks up even more snow. By the time it hits the bottom, it's an avalanche. If you're 25 and you put $10,000 into the market and never touch it again, it could grow to $77,000 by the time you're 55. But if you wait until you're 35 to start, that same $10,000 only grows to $40,000. That 10-year delay costs you $37,000 for doing absolutely nothing. Time is literally free money. If you're finding this valuable, hit subscribe. Most viewers aren't subscribed yet, and you don't want to miss the wealth-building secrets I drop every week. Now, here is a pattern interrupt for you. Most people think they need to be the next Warren Buffett to get rich. They spend hours researching hot stocks and trying to time the market. But here's the truth. Almost all professional stock pickers lose to a simple index fund over the long run. An index fund is just a basket of the biggest companies in the market. It's boring, it's unsexy, and it works better than almost anything else. You don't have to be a genius, you just have to be patient. But what if you want money coming in right now? That's where passive income comes in. The wealthiest people aren't trading their hours for dollars, they're letting their assets do the heavy lifting. Think about dividend stocks. Companies like Coca-Cola or Johnson & Johnson actually pay you just for owning a piece of them. If you reinvest those payments, you're buying more shares, which pay more dividends. It's a beautiful cycle that requires zero effort from you. Then there's real estate. Now, I'm not saying you need to be a landlord tomorrow, but owning property is one of the oldest ways to build wealth. You have a tenant paying off your mortgage while the property value goes up. It's like someone else is buying a giant piggy bank for you. Once you have a property manager in place, it becomes a hands-off income stream. But wait, don't go putting all your eggs in one basket. That's how people lose everything. You need diversification. This isn't just boring advice, it's your armor. You want some stocks, some bonds, maybe some real estate. When the stock market takes a dip, your other assets can hold the line. It protects your heart as much as your wallet. You won't panic when you see the news, because you know your whole future isn't tied to one single company. Before we wrap up, we have to talk about the wealth killer, high-interest debt. If you have credit card debt at 22% interest, you are losing the game. That's a guaranteed 22% loss every single year. No investment in the world can consistently beat that. It's like trying to run a marathon with a backpack full of lead. You have to drop the weight, use the debt avalanche method, pay the minimum on everything, and scream all your extra cash at the debt with the highest interest rate. Once that's gone, the money you are wasting on interest becomes the fuel for your wealth machine. And finally, let's talk about the silent leak in your bucket, taxes. It sounds dry, but optimizing your taxes is like finding free money on the ground. Use a 401k or an IRA to let your money grow without the government taking a bite every year. There's even something called an HSA, a health savings account, that is basically a tax superpower. You get a deduction when you put money in, it grows tax-free, and you don't pay taxes when you take it out for medical stuff. That's a triple win. Over 30 years, these tax strategies can mean the difference between retiring comfortably and struggling to get by. So, here's the big picture. Building wealth without burnout isn't about working harder. It's about building a system that doesn't need you. You automate your savings, you build your freedom from panic fund, you let compound interest do the work, and you keep the tax man at bay. It's a marathon, not a sprint. The people who finish the race are the ones who pace themselves. They don't grind until they break, they build until they're free. Real wealth isn't a fancy car or a gold watch. Real wealth is time. It's the ability to wake up and decide exactly what you want to do with your day because your money is already taken care of. That is the goal. Build your systems, set your automation, and then go live your life. Your future self is already thanking you for starting today. Drop a comment telling me what your #1 financial goal is for this year. And subscribe if you haven't. I post new videos every week to help you win the money game. See you in the next one.